right after that. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Let's do that one.
Marriage gets hard when you disagreeing. When God's in the center, he's refereeing. Talk about triggers and traumas while having date nights at the gym and the sauna. To business meetings discussing the health of the wealth to the season of commas.
New beginning, prosperity, abundance. Family will continue to walk by faith, not by sight. We know that God will supply.
What's up, good people? Welcome
good?
back to another episode of Marriage, Family, and Business. I'm Katina.
I'm Vernon.
And in this week's episode, we're taking a slightly different approach, as you can see from our lovely construction gear.
Yes, construction gear. And the reason that we have this construction gears on is not because we're going to a construction site, because we're talking about Medicare. We're talking about the safety precautions that we need to go ahead and talk to you guys about for this AEP coming up October 15th to December 7th, right?
Yes, exactly. And Medicare, we know, can be a little confusing, not just for seniors, but for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And just like a construction site, you need to make sure you have the right protection to keep you safe from anything that's unexpected.
Yep.
So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get it. So, Katina, we talk to people about Medicare a lot. What would you think the first thing they say about how Medicare kind of confuses people?
Well, really, they generally talk about, it's usually they say they didn't know it was so many parts.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, well, I didn't, like, what does this part mean? Do I need this part? Well, what do I need to do this? So it's kind of like, that's why we have on the construction gear.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like going to a construction site and not knowing what equipment to use to build what you need to build.
Yep. It's just like on the job site where they have like different tools for different situations. So I think we should talk to people about how that comparison kind of works out for Medicare.
All right. So pretty much we're going to break it down like this. All right. So you see this helmet?
Mm-hmm.
This helmet represents part A. All right. And part A is like your hospital insurance for like if you need to stay a night at the hospital or have a skilled nursing care, anything like that. That's when part A kicks in. That's what the helmet represents.
So like the heavy machinery, you're trying to keep yourself from dealing with, any type of head injuries or, all that stuff. So does that cover like your doctor checkups and things of that nature?
See, now that's part B. Part B is your medical insurance for things like outpatient care, doctor visits, any preventive services. You don't always need it, but when you do, it's crucial that you have it.
So, right. So we've got our helmet and our vest. That's part A and part B.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be, somebody looking for a little bit more coverage? What's the next step after that?
See, that's a great question. So the biggest one that a lot of people talk about is Medicare Advantage, also known as Part C. All right. So it's a bundle. It's Part A plus Part B plus D is C. All right. Now, I don't think we talked about what Part D was yet. But you think of it as your all-in-one gear for your job. So the Part D is like your prescription drug plan. Okay, so the D would be like your glasses, prescription. That makes sense.
Prescription glasses.
Right,
okay.
Exactly. So we got A is the helmet, B is the vest, D is the glasses, and then C is the whole package.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what confuses a lot of people.
Okay.
I think, even talking to the people we just did our seminar with, a lot of people just don't know what plan works out for them. And I think that's where brokers come in handy. They need to hire somebody. And I think we need to talk a little bit about why independent brokers work out for those people who are having confusion with Medicare.
All right. Well, I'll be very direct about that. So pretty much as brokers, we have access to everything. So whatever it is you need, we'll go get it to make sure it fits your needs. Now, when you're not working with a broker and you're working with an agent that's like at one company, that's all they have access to. And that's all they can give you. And the simple fact is Medicare isn't one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So the question isn't what's the best plan? It's what's the plan that best fits you is the question that you should be asking. And that means finding the plan that specifically works for you, not just pushing on an option that someone has.
So it's like, maybe like a person sitting at the job site who walks around and makes sure everybody has the same size, right size boots on, right size helmet. So, it won't be a wrong fit and it keeps you fully protected, right?
Exactly. And plus, and no one wants that one size thing. Like, nobody wants to be like wearing the same boots. Don't you like a size 15?
Yeah.
Right. I'm an 11. I'm not trying to wear your boots.
And I can't put a size 11 on.
Right.
I don't think I can get my heel in there at all.
That's uncomfortable. Nobody wants that. So we're here to make sure the plan fits you and your needs and what works best for you, and what just basic coverage all in one package is for you. But there are other options other than that Medicare Advantage.
Yes.
Part C.
Yes. And I think we should get practical. I think we should tell a little bit, a couple of stories. But before we get to those stories, you remember last year we were dealing with one of your friends. They, I think you were telling her that we just got into really figuring out what Medicare was and was trying to help some people out. Mm-hmm. And I think she was like, Tina, come on,
yeah,
please.
She was like,
please,
girl,
come on.
She was like, girl, come over here on this A, B, C, D, F, G. I ain't got time.
Elemental
P. She said, I do not have time. I have a child. I'm over here trying to navigate this stuff with my parents.
WX.
So pretty much what happened is her parents lost their Part B. We don't know how that happened. She doesn't know.
A lot of people usually don't know.
Yeah. They lost it. But it was I was able to do a special enrollment period to get their Part B together and to put them on a plan that fits for them, because they were on a plan that like some agent signed up for them beforehand. So, they didn't know like, oh, I can be on a plan and he can be on a separate plan. They didn't even know that. They thought
same plan.
They thought they had to be on the same plan because they're married. But I let her know it's the plan that fits your needs and it's the plan that fits him. Because at the end of the day, people will be like, oh, well, my friend has this plan and she says it's good. Okay, well, let's think about it. That friend probably has really good health, doesn't have any prescription drugs, hardly ever goes to the doctor. And then you have the other person who has 15 prescription drugs, has to go to the doctor once every 2 weeks or anything, something like that. So it's not to talk about that individual for having those prescriptions or having to go to the doctor, but that plan, the plan that was for her friend, isn't the same as for them, because they have two different types of needs. Does that make sense?
Yep, makes a whole bunch of sense. So I think, looking back on that, like, what do you think people miss? Some things they miss when they're trying to navigate Medicare on their own instead of getting help. Like,
they miss getting everything that they need. Like, they know about Part A and they know about Part B. Okay, Part A is generally what you have when you're working. You like pay into that, and then there's the Part B that you get after you stop working or when you retire. So I think it's generally people just stick with original Medicare. And they're like, oh, I got A and B, I'm good, But then once you start having those prescription drugs and you don't have Part D, then you're really paying out of pocket for it. So an example, the client had A and B and was paying like over $400 a month for prescription drugs.
Oh, because they didn't get a prescription drug.
Because they didn't have a prescription drug plan. So they were paying about $400 a month. And then I presented the plans, let them know their options, and they were like, okay, I want to go with this one. Got them into the plan, matched everything up, because the first thing the agent should be asking for, the broker should ask for, is your providers and your prescription drugs.
Yep.
That was the first thing I asked for, because that'll eliminate whatever needs to be eliminated. Whoever's not going to cover it, I'm not going to pick that one. But the prescription drugs got all the way down to like under $50. But before they were paying $400. So it's like being unaware of the cost that you can cut. I guess when you're working, you're used to paying for these things. Yeah. So it's like you got the golden ticket now.
Yeah, the golden ticket. That's what they call Medicare. They call golden ticket. remember that it was another lady that I feel like we helped last year. She was, like actually like doing yoga and she's very active, going to Pilates classes and going to the gym. And I think she was spending like $500 to $600 a month.
Yeah, well, yeah,
but that was on her own, out of her own pocket,
right?
And then I believe her Medicare package. I think we found out that her job put a agent on her case,
right?
That actually was putting her in a plan that didn't fit her needs.
It really didn't. Like the plan she was in, she honestly, once we called, because as a broker, we're gonna get on the phone and we're gonna help you call whoever we need to call to make sure we get to the bottom of it. So I was on the phone with the client, and she called to let them know, like, because it was a lot we had to do. We originally put her in a plan, but it was blocked because she had this other plan. So when we reached out to them, they were like, she had to write a letter. She had to fax the letter in and let them know that she didn't want her old employer plan.
Extremely difficult.
It was very difficult to get out of it. Simply, she was paying an extremely high premium. She didn't even have like silver sneakers. And she enjoyed exercising. So she was paying for the gym. She was paying for Pilates. And she was paying for her stretch lab.
And she didn't want nobody to mess with it.
She was paying for all three because that was really important to her. Okay. And once we called, they was like, oh, well, you just have original Medicare and your employer is helping pay for your PDP, for your prescriptions. That was it. And she was like, what? And people, she was paying a lot of money in the premium for the plan on top of everything she was paying for her gym membership.
I thought she did have a carrier, but she had one of the carriers that actually had a premium for it.
Exactly. But it was original Medicare with a PDP. So she was paying this premium. That's what it was. When we called the lady, I'll never forget it. She was like, oh, she just has original Medicare.
But she was paying like $100.
But she was paying $200. She was paying over $200 a month. So what we did was,
I didn't even know that.
It was $200. It was like $203. So what we did was, we were able to get her out of that plan. We put her in another plan, and this plan still covered her prescription drugs. She still pays like maybe $5 a month for all of her prescriptions. On top of the fact that it's a form of silver sneakers, but she doesn't pay for the gym. She doesn't pay for her Pilates, and she doesn't pay for her stretch lab. And she called me back and was like, you hooked me up. You hooked me up. I mean, you know how much money I'm saving?
Yeah.
She was really excited about that, but it was what's important for her. The clients I did before that, they didn't even go to the gym. They was like, I don't care about the gym. Yeah. I don't care about that. But this was important for her. So that's why it's based on what fits your needs.
Yeah, I think, the reason that they call it a golden ticket is because there's so much customization out there.
Yeah.
Like, I think what we've learned more and more, like, every plan has different benefits and downfalls to it. I know that when we did our seminar, we actually talked a lot about supplement versus advantage.
You know what? Because I talked about the advantage part. Get into the supplement part.
Well, I mean, supplements can be very tricky, but they're not really. You got part A and part B, right? And we know what part A and part B is something that you got to have in order to have that Medicare card. But the supplement plan, speaking from my mentor and how they talk about it, it's 3 cards. So supplement, you're going to have 3 cards. You're going to have that Medicare card. You're going to have your supplement card, which we'll talk about that. That's the
next episode.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, elemental P, Q, R, S, all that stuff. And then you have your Part D, which is your prescription drug plan. So it's 3 cards that it comes with. One thing that, we make sure that we do for our clients, we make sure that we set them up with a supplement that's going to pay 100% of everything that they're trying to get done. That's the whole point of having a supplement.
Yeah, it really is.
You shouldn't have a supplement
100%.
And you not paying 100. You paying 80, and no. We want to set you up where you are getting everything paid off 100%. I think the plan that we use is Plan G. And then with that Plan G, we have a once a year deductible of $240. So supplement is simple, but it can be complex when you look at the Advantage. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more in these next episodes.
So the best thing to do in a nutshell is to talk to us. We're here to make sure you've got everything that covered, you got everything you need so that you're protected from those unexpected costs.
Yeah. I think in the insurance industry, period, it's a lot of people that don't trust.
Yeah.
They don't trust people because it's a lot of people that have done wrong. But in the case of how we've been trained, in the case of how we are educators, I think, I say to you all by myself, like, if you are having problems or you don't have an agent that's contacting you and actually talking to you about the plan changes for this year coming up in 2025, you need an agent. You need to hire us.
Well, I wanna not to cut you off, but a broker.
Yeah, you need an agent. You need a broker. You need somebody that doesn't work for a particular company. You need somebody that's going to be the person that works for you and not for that
those
particular
companies.
Carrier.
Right, because if they only have one thing to give you, sometimes it won't fit to what you need just because that's all they have. Then you may be overpaying for stuff or having like gaps in your coverage because it doesn't fit. And the whole point of it is for us to find something that fits for you.
You might be a triangle and they might be trying to fit a circle into your triangle space.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. So what's your biggest takeaway, babe? Bringing this all together for this episode, what's the biggest takeaway that you want them to remember?
I want you to remember that Medicare is a journey that you deserve. It's actually something that should be very smoothly done. And you guys should be enjoying it, man. Most of you all been working for more than 30 years, and you've at least gotten that 40 quarters that we always talk about in order to get that, that premium of $174.70 or a little bit more if you made a little bit more money. But this is the time of year, especially if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, where you actually get a chance to go search and shop for the best plan that fits your needs. You need to be around somebody and have somebody on your team that's actually going to look at all of those plans and find something that's catered to you. And we're here for you. We actually work in Illinois, Georgia, Arizona, and Texas. Those are our places that we're working with right now. So, if you guys are having issues with that or you haven't, sure, I don't even care if you don't have issues. Like, you just need somebody to review your plan, because if you don't have an agent calling you after this 2025,
Man, even if you signed up for Medicare 5 years ago and you haven't heard from that agent since 5 years ago, you
need a review. It's about time.
Review to have some conversations, and knowing the things that finding plans that could possibly help you save you money.
Yeah, and we might not be able to help you. You might have the best plan.
Yeah. If you have the best plan, we're gonna let you keep that best plan.
What you have.
Keep what you have.
That is what it is. And you keep the agent that you have on that record. Our job is just to review and make sure that you're on the right thing and making sure that your family, if you are a child or a grandchild that's taking care of this, our job is to make sure that they're taken care of and they have all their prescriptions set up. If they're trying to be preventive and actually do these activities like yoga, Pilates, make sure that their plan can actually take care of that. That can save you some money. Our job is actually to make you save clients money. That's what we do in Medicare. So,
and before we end, quick tip, because you were talking about trust. Quick tip for you guys. Be careful out there during this Medicare season. I'm sure you're getting a lot of mail. I'm sure you're getting phone calls.
Do not give away your Medicare card
number
information.
Social Security is not going to call you.
No.
Especially not going to call you and ask you questions about your Social Security and the Medicare number. Medicare is not going to call you to update that information. That's not going to happen. And to be careful, even if it's people door knocking.
If they door knocking you and telling you it costs money for you to switch your plan, that's not the case. We had a couple who I think she talked about them a little bit earlier.
I didn't.
You didn't talk about them?
No, I didn't get to talk about it.
Oh man, we need to talk about that.
We're gonna do it really quickly. So we helped a couple. I talked about the friend that I helped out for her parents. We helped a couple. We sat with them for a few hours, just making sure everything was set and squared away. And when we finished, she said, "Okay, well, how much do we owe you guys?" And I said, "You don't owe us anything.
Insurance company
The
pays
insurance
a commission.
company pays a commission, and you pay the insurance company."
Mhm.
She said, "But there was a man knocking on the doors in the neighborhood charging us $1,000. And there are some people who paid that $1,000 to get into the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the scammers, and those are the people that
You need to watch out
you
for.
need to watch out for and stay away from. But individuals like us,
We're going to come in and we're going to do what you need to be done. We're not going to push you to move anywhere. We're going to educate you and make sure you have all the knowledge that you need to make an educated choice on what you want to do and what you want to set up for your Medicare and your golden ticket.
absolutely, it's your golden ticket. You better use that golden ticket. You done worked all them years.
Man.
You was tired, and now you retired, and you can't use the golden ticket.
You better get all them benefits.
Get all of them.
Get all your stuff.
Get everything. All right, guys. So thank you for joining Marriage, Family, and Business. Until next time, make sure you're geared up and ready for your Medicare journey. If you're not, you can reach out to us so that we can help you with that. We'll see you next time. And remember, don't step into Medicare without the right protection.
Yep.
Marriage gets hard when you disagreeing. When God's in the center, he's refereeing. Talk about triggers and traumas while having date nights at the gym and the sauna. To business meetings discussing the health of the wealth to the season of commerce.
New beginning.